The request comes backed up by a generous promise of gold, but our local officials are reluctant to lose such lucrative workers.
Yep.
I mean, that's 4 tribesmen,
Yeah,
120 gold.
yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of
That is
money.
a lot of money.
I,
Yeah. I'm saying money. Money makes the world go round.
yeah, no, I like money. I
I
can
like
think of plenty of things to do with money.
I like money. You
Uh,
like money. We have so much in common. Hello, greetings, and welcome to another Imperator stream. As always, I am your host, Troy, the community manager and today I have Joachim from last week with me. So, Joachim, go ahead and introduce yourself again for everybody.
yes, I'm Joachim. I'm a content designer on the Stockholm team for Imperator Rome. And I'm usually known as Stonecrystal on the forums, where I'm skulking around and occasionally answering with gifts.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm so glad to have you here with me again this week. We can pick up the save that we had going last week. We were doing a Macedon playthrough. Things were getting interesting. We had a very interesting conversation last week with Eric. Eric could not join us this week, so it will just be you and I, and we will be launching right into it. When we left last time, we had just gotten a pop up for the 120th Olympiad. So take it away, Joachim.
Yes, we are. It's actually quite cool because one of our content designers added the number right on the start, so it's not just the Olympiad; it's the 120th, and it's not like a big deal, but it's like a small thing, and I sort of like it.
Yeah. It gives it some more feeling. It's not just some disconnected event that you're reading out on screen. It's
Yeah, exactly.
this
It's
is a
like
number. You're part of history.
or at least so we can hope, right?
What exactly?
But yeah, once more, the renowned Olympic Games are due to occur in the city of Olympia. The traditions surrounding these games are ancient, reputedly dating back to the days of mighty Heracles himself, and they are an occasion in which all of Greece rejoices. It is our custom to send the proudest, most able young Macedonian athletes to compete on our behalf. We believe we have found two ideal candidates: a well muscled brute of a man by the name of Satyrus, and a stout fellow who calls himself Eurylochos?
Yep.
Eurylochos. I think that's sort of that's acceptable.
Yeah. Good
Which
enough.
which of these fine athletes should be sent to compete in the games? So if I don't misremember, I actually think the Macedonians weren't allowed to take part in the Olympic Games for a long part because they're
Right.
not like real Greeks, right? They're sort of like these northern half Greek barbarians.
Yeah. The Macedonians were seen as uncivilized for a long time, and that was one of the
Until
reasons.
they came in and took control of the whole area,
Yeah.
and then they were allowed to do whatever they wanted because they were in charge.
Yeah.
So simple as that.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
how they go, we will send our most able, proud guys, and I'm usually like, who doesn't have a job at the
Yeah.
moment, because I don't want to redo the whole job thing. So I'm just
Right.
going to be like, this guy is a researcher, he's a busy guy, this
Yeah.
guy, he doesn't do anything, so let's just send him. I don't have high hopes of winning the Olympic Games in any case, so
Well,
that's fine with me.
maybe he's an out of work fisherman because we're at war and he can't go and ply his trade. He was a stout fellow. So,
So where we left off last time, as happens to Macedon, we were sort of pulled into the war with Antigonids about half a year in. So we're sort of fighting for control of Greece, and we were a little bit unlucky. So the
yeah.
Egyptians just sort of gobbled this land instead of actually going to war, which I was hoping they would at least fight a little bit for it.
Yeah.
And on
But
the bright side,
yep,
the Seleucids jumped in instead,
exactly.
which at least that's something, and you can sort of see that Antigonids are, have occupied these places,
Right.
and the Seleucids have occupied these places. So I assume they have at least fought a little bit over it. So that's something, right? I think
Right.
that's, and the good thing is also that we have sort of dislodged the big army they had here.
Yep.
I'm not exactly sure where it went. I didn't really pay attention. I was busy. I think I was busy talking about donkey soldiers or something like
We
that.
were talking about the donkey charge. That was the
Yes,
thing we were talking
exactly.
about. But
And I
no,
didn't really.
we beat them 3 times and we reduced their number. They still have that 13,000, and there's another one that's down to the left, I do believe. So we
There's this one,
yeah, there's
and there's these
yeah, but I
guys,
think they went
and
further down. It
these
looked like they
guys.
went further down left. I don't know where they went, but they just kind of disappeared around the bottom. So hopefully they won't come back to haunt us in a little bit.
I feel like that's sort of like famous last words, right? It's sort of like, I hope the big army isn't going to come back
Yeah.
and take care, and
Yeah.
it's like 3 days later, and there's like, oh, there's a big army here.
Yeah.
That would be sad.
Well, we also have to take into account that like the Antigona, they're so big that when they split their army to go and defend their far eastern borders, it's going to take them a long time to get back and forth if they want to split their army for that. So that's really helpful for us, especially if they start taking lots of land over us.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a huge bonus for us. So I'm thinking we're just going to go through like the top alerts right away.
Right.
I know they sort of respawn, and we went through most of them last time. So the decision, we're not doing that. Like I said last time, we don't. I'm not going to spend money on
No.
that yet.
No.
Inventions. I actually think I do want an invention.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
Sapping's not
grab
going to be
this.
bad.
Because I just want to go through like the sieges as quick as possible. I
Right.
just this +1, it's not like a big deal, but it might be important enough, right? It might have something to do with anything, and I think we're just going to keep it at that. I sort of want to discipline as well, but I want like to have like some money, so if anything happens, I can just sort of
Right.
fall back on buying mercenaries and be like,
Exactly.
okay, you know what? Everything else is sort of falling apart. Let's, fuck it, mercenary time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
keep it at that.
And also that buying power is going to be really helpful if we keep it around and we finish this war quickly. We can just kind of slide away from having to worry about troop upkeep and fatigue, war fatigue, and stuff. So.
And we still don't have an admiral here, but we're not really using our
Right.
navy yet. So I'm just going to keep that going. I know that we're sort of low on food over here, but
Yes.
honestly speaking, we don't really have a good way of getting food right now,
No.
as far as I know. So
No.
we're just going to accept that Corinth is currently.
Until we can make it to them at least.
Yeah, no. At the moment, they're going to starve, and
Yeah.
that's going to be their fate, and that's fine. These guys have decreased pay, but like I said, we're not using them, so that's fine. And we're not getting more inventions, and yeah, we're at war.
With a
We're
lot of people.
we know that. That's fine. We can keep that up. So I think we're just going to go for it and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hoping that I was actually hoping that these guys would fight these guys because they were right next to each other, but
Right.
apparently they're just skipping that.
Well,
nicely.
it looks like our allies are kind of grouping up with each other, which might help them in the long run. So hopefully that's what they're doing and not just kind of running away and skirting the battle.
Yeah, that's or potentially fight these guys. I guess
Right.
both works for me. Let's see. We have received an envoy sent by Anax, ruler of our subject Paeonia. He offers our ruler, Basileus Cassandros, his personal friendship. Strengthening our connection with our subject could have its benefits. So it's these guys.
Right.
These are basically like
Our northern border.
Yeah, they're like tribal Macedonians
Yeah.
at our northern side. Let's see.
Yeah.
We could be friends with them, or we could get popularity. The thing is, I think Cassandros is sort of he's in the middle of dying.
Yeah.
I mean, most people are, to be fair. It's
Right.
sort of like the cycle of life, but he's very much in the in the business of dying in approximately, I guess, 3 years, something.
And in the words of the old song, as soon as you're born, you start dying. So.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think we're just going to take like the positive opinion for now because we don't really need the popularity that much.
Right.
So I think we're just going to be fine with that.
Also, it keeps the people literally on our northern border while we're having a war in the southern border a little bit happier, and that's something we're interested in.
Yeah, no, I think we're just going to remove these two.
So our allies did come and reinforce us, which was nice, and it looks like there's two armies right next to that siege that's going on. They're probably waiting for us, but they're gonna wait a while. We're in the middle of something.
No, it seems like they're going to go for it, and that's fine. It seems like they're going to actually be able to
All right.
take care of it as well, which
Okay.
is sweet. That means we don't have to redo the whole thing. So
Good.
that's something.
Looks like it's going all right. Get some good rolls in there.
Yeah, no, I think they're actually
there you
going to
go.
be quite fine.
Yeah, good
I
rolls.
don't know why the Athenian army was so weak. I mean, they had it seems like they had decent things.
Yeah. Well,
No,
and that was the one that we broke. That was the army that we broke, and then they split apart.
Right, I
So-
see. Yeah, no, they have 3 heavy infantries and some light. I figured they would do an okay job, but apparently not.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I've sort of spent the whole weekend practicing Thessaloniki, Like,
Yeah.
if that goal is coming up again, I'm going to pronounce it right. It's like, that's like my thing.
Not like last time where none of us had any idea what was going on.
Exactly. That would have been awkward.
Oh,
Let's
yeah,
see.
that didn't happen. Nobody saw that. That didn't happen.
Exactly. That we're putting that in the past.
Right.
That's not a thing anymore. Let's see here. The Great Olympic Games have come to an end with much rejoicing and celebration. The highlight of this year's games was during the final race of this Olympiad, the Hoplitodromos, in which the competitors endured a full lap of the stadium, clad in full body armor. Eudoxos of Metapontum crossed the finishing line a good hour after the race began, having stopped to flirt outrageously with a group of giggling maidens. Overall, the victor was declared to be Philotas of Tyndaria, a first-time winner of the Olympics, whose brawn, virility, and Heraclean vigor are beyond compare. He will go down in the annals of history as a champion of the Olympiad. Sure. I mean, good for him.
Well,
okay. I mean, supposedly the victors of the Olympic Games were actually quite famous. They were sort of they were e-celebs before that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
So that's that's sort of a cool thing.
They were A-list actors of the ancient world. For ancient, I guess. Ancient.
It's sort of interesting because when you sort of go through a lot of these minor cities and towns, they had a couple of statues, and they were often to these guys, right? They were the local heroes. So that's actually quite interesting. Quite fun, I guess. Let's see. Tribal people request migration. A sizable quantity of tribal people resident in the city of Pelagonia have requested permission of the local administrative officers across the border into land owned by our neighbor Paeonia. The request comes backed up by a generous promise of gold, but our local officials are reluctant to lose such lucrative workers.
Yep.
I mean, that's 4 tribesmen, 120 gold.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. I'm saying money. Money makes the world go round.
Yeah, no, I like money. I can think of plenty of things to do with money.
I like money. You like money. We have so much in common.
So the question now is, do we want to fight those 12,000 troops over there? I see that is Eretria, Athens, and Megara in one neat stack.
Yeah.
And we have 19,000?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a good shot at winning.
Hello. We would like to talk to you about our Lord and Savior, Macedon.
And I found some more soldiers, but I don't think that's going to matter. I think that's a little bit late.
Yeah, this is not going well for them at all.
It seems to be quite a bloodbath. Now they're, on donkeys.
Reinforced.
That's not going to help
at
all, I think.
Welcome to the losing side of this battle, friends. Man.
I think, it's sort of, just putting people into the meat grinder here. That's, that's just
bye, guys.
that.
Thanks for trying. That's 100%. Let's see that. Let's see them good rolls to take it over.
Where do we want to go now? I mean, we sort of... I think they got this one covered. I don't think we have to go down here.
But there are the outlying islands if we want to get those.
So, I believe... Let's have a look. Where's... I'm so bad at finding the one I'm looking for. Where's the diplomacy one? Don't we have it here? No, we don't. Diplomacy. Where are you? There you are.
Bonk.
No, that's population.
That's population. There you go. There we go. You have it. It's top row. Second to the...
Oh, it's right there. Why is it there, though? Well, now we have 2 of them.
Now we have 2. Double diplomacy.
So we can easily see who we're at war with and who we are
man.
fighting
Look at the antennas.
So,
woof.
Yeah, no.
Things are not going well.
No, I think... So basically, I think we can sort of take this area, and then we might consider, grabbing up these. I don't really care too much about these islands. What I really do want is basically this is what I want.
Right, exactly.
I sort of want to dislodge them from Greece itself, so I can just have Greece myself. Yeah, basically. Because I imagine that as soon as I take this area, they're okay, we're busy over here, and then they just won't come back, and that's fine.
Internal strife, yes, internal strife.
I think we're going to do something we haven't done yet, which is to take our little fleet.
Whoa.
and give them a general. And then we're just going to, they're still on low morale. They have been, they've just gotten their money, and it's like, hey, we're finally being paid again, and
Yeah.
now we sort of have to, work that morale in and give them a couple of, let's see, recovers by 0.63, so I guess that's about half a year then before they're up and going.
Yep. Well, we don't want to give up on them. We want to, we want to take care of them. We don't want it to just be a fleeting impression.
Yeah, no. We wanted to, stick around with them.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
see they have.
it's a hull of an undertaking, that's for sure.
You've really been saving these up, huh?
We discussed this. It's like Tourette's. I can't. It's sometimes it just happens.
The real question is, do you sit there and think about them before you say them, or do they just come naturally?
Well, no, I get all of my puns about boats really cheap. They're always on sale. or
oh, this is great.
Yeah.
We're going to give them a couple of more ships. So
a boatload of ships, even.
Yes, a boatload.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to get a couple of I just want to build up their navy, so I'm sure they don't immediately fail to the first person they meet.
Yeah.
And then we can use them to grab Aegina, because I want Aegina.
Yes, definitely.
And then I think we're just going to, for now, clean up and take this place.
Yeah,
because these two are just, these two provinces are just going to be grabbed by the fort anyway, so you don't really have to siege them down. And then I guess we're just going to sort of wait here a bit and see if they actually want to come back, or we can maybe try and even...
or they could just turn around right now and we could say hello. I don't know why they would do that, but here we are.
I mean, okay, that was the end of that.
What a terrible idea.
That was the end of that army. I guess, no. I'm not entirely sure. I guess it was something... I mean, you have the whole shattered retreat thing, right? When you lose, you sort of, I guess something went weird there, and they couldn't actually pass over Andros, and they're like, yeah, no, we're being screwed anyways. Let's just fuck it and just do whatever we can. But
man, that was a terrible decision. I'm really glad that we captured the leader of that army, because
it's like we just grabbed like those 12,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the end of that army, and I'm happy about that. I'll take that. We can pretty much grab everything we want except Aegina, which we haven't taken yet.
Which we need to get on that.
Yes. I wonder if we can also release an Asiatic Fleet. We cannot, but we're not far from it, actually.
Yeah.
So if you just sort of push this whole thing, I think we can actually do it. I think this is actually going to work out quite well.
It should. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. I mean, we shattered that large army, so...
Yeah, no, the army is just gone, right? Yeah. I assume their other army is sort of busy with its Lucas over there.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's recently been a large influx of Canadian traders and travelers visiting Pella. As Acanania is under our protection, they have opened up and tried to become more friendly and well-known throughout our nation. As both sides are starting to see the benefits of this relationship, we should try to make a decision on what kind of limits we are going to set up in their, over their influence in Pella.
Right.
Let's see. So we can grab a couple of citizens, or we can get some money. Do we like people or money?
How are our pops doing right now?
I mean, we do have a lot of pops. We do have a couple of spaces, but I don't really think we need... I think okay. So, we're game developers, so it's not too surprising that we're not people.
Right, so let's go with money.
Money always works.
Yes.
Let's take the money. I mean, I think I said it at the start that we grabbed a bunch of alliances, not because we're ever going to, do anything for them. We're just going to, abuse them for the sake of beating and Antigonus.
Oof.
And,
Oof. That's goodbye. This is ours now.
Let's have a look then if we can get everything we want and more. So how far off? Oh God, they're at like same seas pretty much.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, we'll probably get a couple of, a little bit more from occupation just as time passes.
Right.
So I think we'll just wait a little bit. Alternative is to let them just keep these guys.
Yeah.
I think. See, the thing is, I think I'm just going to pull out of this war and leave it at that. They can just keep the nationality if they want to. Like I said, I don't care too much about these islands. So yeah, no, I think I'm just going to
Yeah,
give
looks
that,
good to me.
hand it over to them. We get Kolkis. There we go, and we'll grab Aegina. And we get these guys as feudatories, these guys, and these guys. That sounds quite good. I don't think there's anything else we really care about. No. So there we go. We now hold. Oh, we got a Salamis as well. That's. Oh, right, because they had
Yes.
Salamis as well.
Yeah.
That's cool. They. Is there anything I've been missing? No. No, it seems like everything is quite all right then, actually. That brings us to this one. I guess we'll just grab Zeus now. We didn't actually got
Ta-da.
less aggressive expansion than I expected,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's not really a lot of positive things about aggressive expansion,
No.
so
No.
we're just going to grab that and we're going to bring our troops home.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome home.
Now that
You did good.
now that sort of brings up the question, right? What are our next plans? What are our goals now? Where do we want to go next?
Right. Right. I mean,
Because what we can do is to go in Greece.
Yep.
And sort of try and expand and take Greece. Alternatively, we can beat up on Thrace before they can
could.
expand any further.
Yep.
I know they didn't like us in the first place,
Yeah.
and they're going to break that that alliance as soon as they can. So,
so that might be our best bet is to head over that way.
I mean, just like properly breaking Thrace once and for all, so they just can't recover. That's definitely like not a bad idea. And I mean, these guys are probably not going to expand enough to become dangerous anytime soon. I'm seeing that
He
these
said,
guys have
as
formed.
we get trampled from the south.
I see these guys have formed the Kain League.
Right.
So they have expanded. These used to be a couple of like city states. Now they're one.
Yep.
One big league, but they're also in the middle of having a civil war in 3 years. So that's probably going to be fine. And I don't really think they're going to expand much more than this anytime soon. So I think it's going to be all right. So I think we'll just bring our soldiers back home, and we'll see if we can play a little bit with Thrace. I think that sounds like a good idea. And we can't fabricate a claim.
Boof. We already have
right.
claims. Yeah.
Yes, we do, because basically all of the Diotica, the successors, get like claims in each other.
Yep.
So until Cassandra dies, we have all the claims we want and need.
Yep.
What we need then is for them to break their alliance with us. So we're going to do the honorable thing, and we're going to insult them, obviously.
Perfect.
So another thing I wanted to bring up is actually missions, because I haven't done any of them. And the reason why is I don't really want to do the development mission. I don't want to use my money on that. And I see that the Conquest mission is sort of over in Illyria.
Yes.
And Illyria isn't really where I want to go. It's sort of like, when I've taken Thrace and I've taken Greece, then sure, I might sort of expand up in Illyria. But right now, I sort of want to take the ones that are actually fair, right?
Yep.
The ones that actually might be a threat to our kingdom. So let's just keep that where it is.
And as far as stuff for 2.0 and the UI and stuff that we kind of discussed in the DD, 2.0 we'll see all those changes. We don't have a date yet. Once we get closer to that date, we will definitely let everybody know. Make sure you're following us on social media. Make sure you're in the in our forums chats for those. The forums have all the devs in there checking those diaries. So make sure you're on the dev diaries. Check those. They'll have all kinds of conversations. And as we get closer, like I said, we will be publishing the dev diaries, on a regular basis. So keep an eye on those. But the closer we get, the more information and release date timing we'll have, and we will let you all know as soon as we hear.
Yeah. And another question is always, what's a couple of good starting nations?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that Rome is generally good because it's like very much the beginner start in the game. It's like, hey, you get a lot of free feudatories, you get a couple of easy targets.
Yep.
I'm just going to put this away so you can answer the question. Another good one is Egypt. Egypt starts very strong as like one of the more powerful nations in the game. So I'd probably say that off the Diadochi right now, Egypt is probably one of the easier ones. The Seleucids have problems with like a lot of pops that's not of their culture or religion. And the same with Antigonids. The Thracians aren't really too bad on that side, but they have like very big opponents. Like Macedon is bigger than them, and Antigonids, are bigger than them. So they're sort of in a precarious position.
Yeah.
And Macedon has, as we've seen, a couple of starting events that might throw things for a loop, right? So it can end up being difficult. As for other nations, I guess Carthage isn't too bad. You're sort of like the big bully in the in the Pleiad, so it's not too hard. Up here, I'm actually not sure what other good nations. I usually play
Anywhere
like small
anywhere in
ones.
Britannia is pretty good. If you're more politically slash like relationship minded for as far as your nations. Just because if you're up on Britannia, you kind of get a feel for the game a lot slower than you do when you're down
Yeah.
in like the big
Yes, you
central
do.
mainland. So if you want to play Britannia anywhere in Britannia, you can definitely start off slow, get a feel for it. Not a lot of wars get declared early in the game for Britannia, so anywhere in there is definitely good. You can use your political manipulations to try and get you more land without too much warfare. But you do have the chance, if you want to focus on more of a warfare-driven campaign if you start
Yeah.
up there. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult because the resources are very limited. So keep that in mind if you start up there.
So this is not a question that they asked, but I'm also going to just mention starts that I like.
Yeah.
That's not like easy starts, but like I like to start as these guys, Gadir.
Yeah.
These two I think is very much fun because they're like the the tiny ones. And I also like sort of these like splatterings of like tiny places. You have like Emporion that's here, that's like a Greek merchant state. Massalia over here, or Basilia, matters in how you want to pronounce that.
Right.
Over here, which is also a lot of fun. And I also like Calcudon. These guys, they were actually my first like proper game was over here. And if you want to, they're not alive anymore that I can see. But there's also a tag here that's called Chersnessus. That is actually where my vanity character starts. So there you go. It's in all games I've been in, my vanity character is right here.
Yeah.
Because that's the first place I played in a Paradox game. So there's a fun fact for you.
Getting back into the game, that's really, if you haven't played the game in a while and you just picked it up, or you did, play the game previously and want to get back into it, now is a really good time. We are working on updates as much as we can. If you haven't seen those updates, definitely check the forums. But the game has changed. I really want to say since we launched, the game has become a whole new beast of its own creation, and we've really stretched our boundaries on what our comfort zones and where we feel happy with the prospects and aspects of the game. And I feel that where it is now is a completely different place from when we started. So if you haven't played since launch, definitely get back in. Our last biggest update was a complete overhaul for a lot of systems, and it added some other systems that weren't previously in the game. So it definitely, Menander did definitely help us feel out kind of where our comfort zones were for this next update, and gave us a good starting point to step off from. So definitely give it a try if you haven't played it in a while. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And the community itself, as always, is a bunch of diehard fans, but they're also very inclusive and welcoming. So if you haven't had a chance to chat with our community, definitely reach out to people in any of our social media platforms, including the forums, including Reddit. And they will gladly help you answer questions and get you a better feel for your playstyles. So definitely check it out. And also it'll give you a chance to kind of knock the rust off if you haven't played in a while before our next big update does happen, which, again, we don't have a release date for. But once we do, I think you'll be very happy once you've gotten a feel for the game before that update launches.
We have received an envoy sent by Archon Kalinas, ruler of our ally Argos. Oh right, we're still allied to those guys.
Yes, we are.
He offers our ruler Basileus Cassandros his personal friendship. Actually, we don't need their friendship and we don't need their alliance. I'm just going to see. We had a nice run, but now we're done.
Goodbye. Thanks. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Guys. Let's see. Do you have only Thrace? I sort of wanted the Thrace to be the ones that stopped Alliance. The thing is, I don't think we can attack them anymore because we're basically at a point where Cassandros is going to die any moment, and I think it's going to throw us into the civil war. So we're just going to be casual about it and not attack anyone and be a little bit defensive.
Right.
And save our resources, and we'll see what happens because I don't actually know exactly what happens with the civil war event. So,
new and exciting.
And it's it can go any way we know. I've sort of seen it happen from afar, right? I've seen sort of Macedon falling apart in civil war, and I don't want to be the one that's falling apart. So, dangerous time ahead.
We'll just plan ahead, just a little bit.
The sad thing is, this guy actually survived. I didn't want him to survive because he's terrible. But he's some he had like lung disease and a couple of other things. But apparently Menon, he just were like this um, genius doctor that just miracle worker that kept him
He was
back in
just
the game.
like, he's just like, drink this and this and this.
Right, and there Cassandra's is dead.
Goodbye.
Machinon breaks alliance with Thrace. Well, I mean that's sort of what we wanted,
Right,
but
right. Kind of the wrong way around, but that's okay.
yeah. Let's see. Transition of power. Old loyalties and allegiances in a monarchy are never entirely tied to the state, but rather to the monarch. With the death of Cassandra, our grasp over the various parts of our empire loosens ever so slightly. It will be up to Philippos to once again strengthen our hold and win the hearts of his people and prove himself more than just a new face in the coins.
Yep.
Long live the monarchy. Sure.
Okay, so we are swiftly running out of time. We think we did a lot of good work this time. We got the war finished. We got all of our territories fleshed out correctly. We did get our troops pulled back and couched for that whole Thrace expansion, and then of course Cassandra's died.
I think we made good headway here.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to grab a little bit more stability because I'm seeing we're sort of on the low end.
Yep.
In case more people dies, I was sort of hoping you would be dead, but you're not. So
Oh look, more empty space from no consort. There we go.
Yes,
there it is.
We're going to let's grab someone to marry then, because I don't like that open space. That shouldn't be the reason to do that, but apparently it is.
I mean, let's be honest. Most people get married because they don't like the empty space in their lives.
So the thing is, he's sort of bad at finesse and seal. So what I would like is someone who's good at both.
Right.
I guess Olympia is sort of our best alternative. She's like 9 at finesse and 5 in seal.
Not bad.
So it's sort of 5 isn't amazing, but it sort of at least makes up for this and this. And yeah, no, she's apparently also dying slowly, but that's fine. I mean, she has a good couple of decades in her yet, so let's just grab you then. A suitable match. Blustering with excitement, Philippos summoned his domestic aid. After far too long alone, he decided to extend an offer of marriage to the stunning young woman Olympia. Of the Imperator. Oh God, she's apparently.
Inbreeding.
I didn't know this was CK. Oh well.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. We got some inbreeding in Macedon. Welcome. It's right. He's blind. He didn't know.
He's like, is she all right? And his domesticator is like, fuck it, it's fine. It's going to be all right.
You're blind. You're dying. Enjoy things.
And yeah, no, I think that's fine. It's actually a thing that we joke a lot about, CK being very incest, thing, right? But if they look at the ancient world, I think they're sort of weak in comparison, right? I mean, the Ptolemies down here, they had incest going for a solid 300 years, right? They were like big on the whole incest thing. So, if anything, they, I mean, yeah, no.
That's right. CK ripped off us for inbreeding. Take that.
And I remember talking to our other content designer, and she's like, yeah, no, it wasn't so common with inbreeding between sister and brother. They're usually like half siblings, so it was all right. And I'm like, oh, is that all right? And then I also sent her like a bunch of examples of actual brothers and sisters, being married. And she's like, oh, I guess not then. I guess they just did.
Yep. Yep.
Blindness and incest, something, Oedipus. Yes, I guess. I guess that's actually true. I didn't think about that. Another thing I actually want to do, now that we don't have our commander anymore, is to ask the Thessalians to create an honor guard.
Yes.
Because if I'm not misremembering, do we get a new person? Yes, we do. And he's just good at martial, so he can be our new commander dude.
Yep.
If we need one, which is going to be handy. But I think we can just sort of, take a save here, because I think we're sort of done-ish now, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get a save. Any other... we still have our save scum file for when we did terrible things.
Do you want me to delete that and delete your shame?
No, leave the shame. The shame must live forever.
All right. I'm going to leave the shame. I think it's admirable that you're willing to, keep it going and,
yes,
look at it and learn from it.
Yes, in case we ever decide we need to go back and take care of questionable matters. But that was fun. That was a good stream for us. We got a lot of good questions answered. I'm so glad you guys asked questions. That makes my job A, easier, B, better, and C, way more enjoyable. Joachim, thank you again for joining me. That was a fantastic game. As always, yep. As always, we will be here on Wednesdays. Well, I will. I don't know if Joachim will be here every week. I will try and drag him in.
I'm willing to go here every week you need me.
Yes. But in the meantime, check out social media. Make sure you read through that dev diary if you haven't had a chance to, and stay tuned for news in the future. Otherwise, Joachim, thank you. Community, thank you. I'm Troy, your community manager, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.